Did you know that la and ela are word endings in Basque that mean that? Yes, that. Hi, I'm Shanna, and this is Basque Berri. My goal with these videos is to promote Basque, all flavors of Basque. So if you are a speaker or a learner of a dialect of Basque, please feel free to comment your way of expressing the grammar points covered in this video. The endings la and ela are verb suffixes. They are attached to conjugated synthetic verbs like dugu, naute, dira, etc. And they are one type of suffix that introduces something called a subordinate clause or dependent clause. In these sentences, the phrases I think, he said, and I know are independent clauses. Since they are able to make sense standing alone, they can be just said without needing anything else in the sentence. I think. He said. I know. But the rest of the sentence introduced by the word that is called the dependent clause. You can't just go around saying, that he will go. Well, I guess you could, you weirdo. Let's translate these sentences first. Edera sarela ustedut. I think that you are pretty. Joango de la esandu. He said that he will go. Badakit chakurbat daukatela. I know that they have a dog. And that particular conjunction or connecting word, that, is the basic translation of la or ela when connected to a Basque verb form. So, sara, you are, turns into sarela, that you are. Joango da, he will go, turns into joango de la, that he will go. Daukate, they have, turns into daukate la, that they have. In English, this word that is usually optional, so we can drop the word that out of these example sentences. I think you are pretty. He said he will go. I know they have a dog. But what you need to consider here is if you can put in that word that. If you can, then most of the time you should include la or ela to the verb in that dependent clause. So you shouldn't say edera sara ustedut, or joango la esandu, or badakit chakurbat daukate. You would probably be understood, and I know some speakers who may leave the suffix off, but it would be much safer to learn this concept as a rule. I mean, you could say, like, he says, quote, he will go, end quote, like he literally says he'll go talking about another person. But that's like a direct quote, so it doesn't apply here. Anyway, la or ela, that, tells us there is something being said in a sort of indirect manner, and it must be a statement, not an indirect question. Like, I wonder if you are pretty, or he said when he will go, or I know why they have a dog. Those are indirect questions, and they use the n or en suffix, not la or ela. Now, la or ela can occur as a part of a direct question. If the independent clause is a question that introduces a dependent statement where you're able to put in the word that, you should still use ela or la when appropriate. Why do I think that you're pretty? Zergatik ustedut edera sarela. When did he say that he will go? Noiz esandu joango dela. Did you know that they have a dog? Badakizu chakurbat daukatela. As you see, the dependent clause itself is not a question, but rather it's a statement within the larger question. If this doesn't make sense to you, please comment below and I'll try to help you further. And I also want you to note, you cannot use this construct for things like, I know the dog that they have, or I think it's the way that he will go. It's also not the word that in they have that dog, or he'll go that way. These are not the same kind of that, which happens in dependent clauses. That's it for the usage of la or ela, but if you want to know more about forming verbs plus the suffix, I'll have another video on that. Again, if you are a native speaker and say things differently, please comment below to help us learn more. Thanks for watching. Agur!